Okay, I just want to give a bit of an update before the episode starts. I recorded this live last week, and at that point, the University of Maine already announced that its classes were shutting down. It was moving only to online instructions. The dining halls were closing. Students had to leave because the dorms were closing. But I was under the impression, as with a bunch of other DJs at the station, that the studio was still going to be open. And I live just off campus. I'm fortunate enough where I can stay here. So I really believe that this was not going to be my last show. But I just got an email last night saying that everything, including the radio station, is closing. So the future of this show is a little bit murky. I would really love to continue the Orno Classifieds. It's although a very short-lived one, it's a very big passion project of mine. Whether I stay on, in Orono next year or I move somewhere else, I'm looking at jobs in southern Maine, I'm looking at jobs in northern Maine, I still want to continue doing this show. Whether it's just like in podcast form or radio form, I bought a microphone at the beginning of the year for this. I got audio editing software, so I definitely have the ability to do this at other points besides at the radio station. It's just having the name, the WMB 91.9 University of Maine's radio station, was a really big factor in getting a lot of guests to come on. So I think it's just a matter of it's going to be more occasional from now on. This summer, there's definitely going to be a big pause. I might be able to interview some people who I work with for my summer job. So that's kind of just a little update for this. I really love the Orno Classifieds, and I'm kind of sad that it's ending soon, but I'm glad that this was the last, quote unquote, official episode for now. I just want to say that the audio on this is going to sound a lot different from the episode with Coach Gite, because this is actually one of only 2 episodes we recorded live. Everything else was pre-recorded. You are definitely going to hear a change in audio because when we do live shows, so it is 3:00 on a Sunday when we do these live. The 2 microphones that we use for the station is connected to the air. We can't record using them at the same time. So I'm actually using my third-party microphone. It's a lot closer to our guest Sophie than to me, so I'm going to sound a lot more quiet, but I tried my hardest to fix it. I'm going to be uploading all these older episodes now that I have a lot of free time. I could really get down and edit them to how I want them to sound. So there's definitely going to sound a lot better than this. So I just want to say a big thank you to all of our guests who came on, all of the people who ever listened to this. I just want to let you know that if you're listening to these in order that I'm posting them, that these are actually out of order. The Coach Gite episode was the 3rd interview we ever did, and this is our 7th interview. So there's definitely going to be uploaded out of order. But I just want to say a big thank you to Sophie for coming on and talking to me. This was a great final episode. I want to say a big thank you to really everyone who came on. Also a big thank you to Nate Harvey and Greg Farrington of the Gorham Band Suds for letting us use their music. I forgot to say it before I hit stop recording during the episode, but the ending song is White Rock Overture from their album Narragansett No. 7. So I felt really bad after I stopped recording that I forgot to mention that. But again, anyway, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who's listening and enjoy the rest of the show.
I've been making new ideas, but I just can't tie them down to the floor. And even though it's getting old, I just can't seem to find something nice more specific, beneficial, or conducive to what I'm doing with my spare time now that I'm alone and my mind's an empty room. I had a lot of plans to make some time to make new plans, but everything's just so hard to keep in line. And even though I can't stop having dreams of an open road, the current slows and the meaning gets ignored.
Hey everyone, hello and welcome to the Orono Classifieds, a talk show from WMAB 91.9 Orono, Maine. It is currently 3:07 on Sunday, March 15th. The song you just heard was a short mix of Specific Beneficial by Nate Harvey and Greg Farrington of the Gorham Band Suds from their album Narragansett No. 7. So the Orono Classifieds, for people who haven't heard us before, is a show where we talk to the people who work on and around the University of Maine campus. These people work within our community to make our lives better, so this show is an opportunity to get to know them a little bit more. Our guest for today is Sophia Palangas, a senior who put together the quote-unquote Coronamencement, the early student-run graduation on this past Friday. But before we get to the interview, I just have a few things I quickly want to go over. For those, again, who have never heard the show before, I'm Livy, the main host for the OC. We're back from our little hiatus. It took a bit longer than I thought, but I think we were able to get some of my business squared away and my work hours sorted out. So with the recent news of the University of Maine closing on all campus classes, the show might change a bit, but I'm going to go over that at the end of the interview a little bit later on. So remember, if you want to follow us for updates on future guests and to ask them any questions, you can find us on Twitter at @OrnoClassified. That is at @OrnoClassified with no S. There you can find a link to our YouTube, which is going to host some of our old episodes, probably going to host this one too. If you or a friend is interested in coming onto our show, we would love to have you. You can send us a DM or reply to us on Twitter or call us now at 207-581-2333. That is 207-581-BEEF. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, with the closing of the campus, the fate of commencement is currently unknown. Being a fifth-year senior myself, I was pretty bummed out about this. And the idea of walking in the Alphon, seeing my parents afterwards, that was a big factor that kept me going this past semester. But one senior decided to take matters into her own hands. So today we're going to be talking to Sophia Palangas. Palangas?
Yeah.
Today. We're going to talk about what she did to create what has to be the best unofficial graduation ever. So if you want to introduce yourself in any way that you would like.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Sophie Palangas. I'm a fourth-year student at the University of Maine studying communication sciences and disorders in the Honors College. I also have minors in leadership studies, psychology, and interdisciplinary disability studies. I'm currently co-vice president of the Senior Tradition Society All Maine Women, co-coordinator of Alternative Breaks, and the former co-president of Women's Club Ice Hockey. And yeah.
I feel like a lot of things.
I do a lot of things on campus.
So, you already answered my questions.
Yeah.
So, just kind of like before we talk about the commencement ceremony, how exactly, what were because the university revealed to us on Wednesday that it was closing.
Yeah.
And that was literally, not good at math, but 5 days ago, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I think within those 5 days, there's a lot of, I felt like I've processed it, but at the same time, it's still sinking in. So how's that been affecting you so far?
So when I found out on Wednesday that class was over in person, I was absolutely devastated, and kind of in shock. Walking around campus, people were just bawling their eyes out openly, which I'd never seen before, and I've never seen so many people affected, in our community like that. I had a final the next day, so I was wondering if that was still going on, so I was kind of stuck in between, wondering if I would, or not final, midterm, I was wondering if I could pass that, where I was going to live, because I live on campus in the apartments, and then kind of just in shock that my graduation could be taken away from me and that I might have to go home. So there's a lot of emotions, and then kind of lulls. It came in waves. Sometimes I was about to cry. Other times I was just staring off into the distance, very sad. Yeah.
I feel like it's not fully going to sink in for me until, next week when I realize there's, you're walking around on, Monday at 11 o'clock, and
yeah.
you're not going to see everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I also think it's not going to be until I'm parking somewhere on campus and be I can actually find a spot in the appropriate lot and not have to
Yeah.
Cross my fingers that parking doesn't come for me.
Definitely solved the parking issue on campus.
They should have just done this earlier. Like, why do we need a
yeah.
parking garage? So, what was the... So, okay. Again, for people who don't know, unless you've been living under a rock or you're my mom, the commencement ceremony that was on Friday, it was entirely student run. It was entirely, like, it was, like, your idea. You were, like, in charge of it. It wasn't an official university event, right?
Yeah, it was technically unaffiliated with the University of Maine, as I have been recommended to say. But they definitely offered support in student activities, and just the relationships I've built over the years really came into play on especially Thursday. I guess you could say I have some powerful friends that definitely contributed to the success of the event. Yeah.
So what is the like story behind it though? Like, I don't think you started off intending for hundreds of people to show up.
Oh, absolutely not. So I was in Fogler Library in the president's room, kind of all in my feelings, trying to study, and I went down to the bathroom and I was kind of tearing up in the first stall. And I decided that I wanted to say goodbye to my friends. And I thought, what better place than the steps of Folger Library, where I could maybe print out some goofy diplomas and just hug them goodbye, because I didn't know where I would end up. And I made the Facebook event. I invited all of my friends, specifically the UMaine women, and I told them, invite your friends, tell them to invite their friends. And I thought maybe 20 people at most would come. I didn't think that many people would still be on campus, honestly. And I thought it would just be a nice way to wrap up the week, because seeing my friends devastated, that really hurt. And then someone suggested posting it on UMaine memes for drunken teens. And I thought, no one's gonna be that interested in a little graduation I'm holding. Like, who am I to do that? And then Wednesday night, I probably had 70 people interested, and I thought, oh, that's a pretty good turnout. And then I woke up and 100 people were interested, and then by noon, 200 people interested, 100 going. Thursday night, 400 people interested. Friday morning, 450. Uh-oh. CDC says only 250 people should be gathering. And on Thursday is when everything started happening, I guess. I took my midterm, and I went down to the student government office to see my very good friend Taylor Cray, who's vice president of student organizations, and Lauren Ryan, who is president of UMaine Women. And we were kind of sitting in her office just thinking, what can we add to this, I guess? And all of a sudden, people on Facebook were messaging me saying, what can I do to help? Can I do anything? And then people would come into the office and say, hey, you know what'd be really cool? What if we had Bananas there? And I go, can you do that? Okay. Bananas is there. Hey, we should have Dean Dana speak. Taylor sends an email to Dean Dana, or Lauren does. One of them did that. And he replies, and we're like, wow, okay. And then Logan Armando's in there, and he's like, I want to help in any way possible. And then we go into the next office, and our president of student gov, Bentley's in there, and he goes, I want to help. And Chase Flaherty's in there. And then we have Jack O'Donohue, who's vice president of financial affairs, coming in. And all these people are like, we have money. We want to help you. There's one guy, class of 2020 council, comes in. He goes, I have 1,000 t-shirts I need to get rid of. I go, okay, can I have some? Jack's like, let's get food. Okay, I don't know how to do that. There's a talk of a food truck, and then, I don't know, everyone just wanted to help. I was getting called into meetings. When it was outside in the morning, Lauren was like, I'm going to get you a speaker. Go, okay, people are really going to hear my voice. And then Ben Evans comes in and goes, you can't have a speaker. Later in the day, you can have a speaker. Go, okay. And then I go, oh no, that's a problem. A lot of people are going to be hearing me speak. And I was just basically running around the union saying a lot of yeses and a lot of, I really don't know. I didn't plan for this, and I just saw basically everyone come together just wanting one final event to say goodbye and provide some closure, because we have been extremely disrupted, especially as seniors, but we're not the only people in the country who are going through it, so that's kind of how it happened. Just a lot of people wanting to help.
Just like a little Facebook event just turned to essentially what is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be honest. Like I would like for the actual commencement ceremony to happen.
Yeah,
but I feel
me
like
too.
there's gonna be a lot of people that are just gonna be sitting there like,
Mm-hmm.
Coronamencement was more fun.
Yeah, I don't know how the Alphon can really top what happened in the Union now.
I mean, I was eating chicken tenders.
Yeah.
And I was like high-fiving people. People were in their bathrobes. I was like, this is it. We peaked.
The amount of Facebook message requests I was getting was insane. I was like, how are these people finding me right now? Where are these people? People are coming out of the woodwork saying, we need the news. And I go, oh, yes, okay. I don't know how to do that, but okay. And then I had photographers reaching out saying, do you want me there? And I said, I don't know, sure. And everyone just kept piling in all their support and love, which was really remarkable.
So do you know how many press people showed up? I think I definitely saw someone from Bangor Daily News there.
Bangor Daily News was definitely there. We had, I call it WABI 5, but it's the WABI 5. I'm not from Maine, so I don't know. News Center Maine was there, and the UMaine marketing team. I think I did 3 or 4 live interviews on TV that are somewhere out there for people to find, which is scary. Yeah. There was a lot of press. There's one person with a GoPro, which I think was the UMaine marketing department. He was everywhere. I don't know, with a GoPro. Yeah.
Like, I hope it was from someone from, I mean, if I had a GoPro and I wasn't quote-unquote graduating, I think I definitely would still have showed up just to take pictures.
Yeah. He was everywhere with that GoPro.
So, you were telling me earlier when we were talking that, that got on the New York Times. What was, like, did you find that out yourself? Did someone, like, message it to you?
I don't know how exactly I found it. I honestly was in OHOP that night with the corona. But I think there's a couple all-Maine women. We were sitting in the living room, in Katie's living room, and I was on Facebook, and I think someone tagged me in it or sent it in a group chat to me, and that's when I started hyperventilating, because my name's in the New York Times? What? It was an out-of-body experience. I had people, like, holding me because I just didn't understand.
Well, you can say in your resume from now on, you could be like, oh, you were a what's the word? Contributor to the New York Times.
Yeah.
You can say that now.
Yeah, it's definitely a resume booster. I don't know how much it affects my future career, but it's definitely a great fun fact for the rest of my life.
It's a good party trick to pull on people.
Absolutely.
So, it wasn't a official university sanctified event, but you're able to pull in all of these people coming in.
Yeah.
I think, like, and then correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm taking from the outside perspective of someone who literally was sitting in their bed, eating, like, one hand on my phone, one hand eating some Flaming Hot Cheetos, and I was like, oh, this looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then I saw the little flyer that had, like, these are all the things listed. Oh, we're having Taco Rita. Oh, there's free shirts.
Yeah.
I was thinking, like, this seems like, from my perspective, and this isn't a bad thing, but when I tried to say this to my roommate, it sounded kind of bad. I was like, this just feels like, since everything's closing, everyone's like, oh, this is our last chance.
Yeah.
Like, we were going to have a month and a half to get rid of all this stuff, but I guess this is it. But definitely, I think all those things put together is really what made it so great. Like, the fact that it grew so much.
I don't know. Every time I look back on it and think of, little meetings that we had, or just someone bursting into Student Gov saying, what's going on? How is this happening? I really had no answer, and it's crazy to explain. Even just saying it out loud that happened. I have never had an event catered before. Like, I don't know.
So what was it like? Did you approach, or not, like, I know it probably wasn't specifically you, but did someone approach, like, Harvest Moon and, like, Taquerita, or did they come to you, or, like, how did we decide sandwiches and tacos?
We were in a meeting with Heather Hogan and Ben Evans, Jack O'Donohue, Taylor Cray, and Lauren Ryan, and I was sitting in a chair kind of sinking lower and lower as the conversation went on. And we had mentioned Harrison, who's running for president for Student Gov, mentioned that he wanted to try to get food trucks, but apparently we're only allowed to have one certain food truck on campus. So Harvest Moon and Taquerita are owned by the same man, and he was in the union, I guess, a week ago, saying that he wanted to work with students, and Jack O'Donohue just capitalized on that, and I really don't know how he did that. I just agreed to it and let him handle that, and they showed up. That's what I know. They definitely showed up and brought us more food than I ever expected.
So I guess it just was like a match made in heaven. It was just like the fate coming together.
Yeah, good timing on their part.
And honestly, like, when I first saw, I was like glancing over it. I wasn't reading it in depth. When I saw, like, oh, like, there's gonna be catering, I'm like, okay, they're gonna have, like, because I work at or I have to use past tense now, but I worked at the Alfond for event staff. Yeah. So whenever we usually do the people that take tickets and sit in a corner, make sure that you don't leave through a certain door. Yeah. And if you have drinks, okay, all views expressed in this show does not reflect that of the university or WMEB, and they are the personal views by people saying them. But if there's people and they're in the student section and they have a drink, if I tell you to put it away, I don't really care what happens to it afterwards. Yeah. So that was my job. I really was, like, pretty relaxed, like, this is the easiest $11 an hour. I get to sit here and watch games. So whenever there's, like, quote-unquote catering, all of the people who pay a lot of money to go there and and see the games, they get to eat first, and then we go through, and I was like, okay, catering is just crackers and cheese. Yeah. And sometimes it's pasta. So I was like, it's those people catering. So when I walked up and I saw there was all that food there, I was like, dang, they really were able to go all out on this. I didn't get food until maybe a half hour after commencement finished, and there was still so many platters of sandwiches, which went to the International Student Association's coffee hour, and I think it ended up, at the food pantry on campus. I didn't understand how that food got there. That was something that really just baffled me. It was amazing. So that's like with the food. That's like a third party thing. Yeah. But at some point, someone from the university had to have been like, wait a minute. What's going on, and what can we do? Like, what was that process of getting okayed by the university?
It was easier than I thought. Every time I got an email or I saw someone in the union or I went near the dean's suite, I was ready to just have it all shut off. Like, but all I got was support, and if anything, I was the one being like, maybe we should just not do this. I don't know if this is, like, the best idea, because I didn't want to put anyone at risk, and I never intended to have an event this large. I don't know if I ever will have an event this large again. because it was stressful, but it was, I think everyone needed it. Like, on all levels, everyone wanted something to just wrap up their time here on campus. There are deans of the different colleges coming up to me at the end, like, just saying that they needed it, and that was crazy because I look up to a lot of people who work in the union, and obviously, like, professors, and have them say that they're looking and admiring me is just, that doesn't make any sense. Like, there's a lot of things that don't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone, I think, just wanted something good to happen.
It was definitely like I think the fact that for you, it was probably very crazy, but the fact that it happened so soon afterwards, I think it definitely helped helped a lot of people deal with the fact that, well, I guess it is over now.
Yeah.
Or it wasn't one more thing because I think a lot of this is just waiting to see, like, are we going to, is real commencement going to happen? Are all classes going to be canceled no matter what? Or I think the fact that it happened right away, you didn't have to have that waiting, and it definitely helped soften the blow of what was going on.
Yeah, Lisa Morin of the Bodwell Center said that it takes about 48 hours after something traumatic like that to happen for people to kind of settle down. And I guess during everyone's panic mode, I just need to distract myself, and I thrive off of being too busy, so it was kind of like a perfect scenario for me to just distract myself and just work.
You were able to just roll up your sleeves and get it done.
Yeah, I thrive off of being too busy, and I've been told way too many times in my life that I need to just, like, not take on commitments, but I like being busy, I guess, so it's a good time to put that to use.
Okay, so it is 3:28. We're going to take a short little break. So I'm going to quickly play a PSA. I don't know what Okay, and now we're back. This is the Orono Classifieds, a show from WMB 91.9 FM, Orono, Maine. If you want to give us a call, you can call us at 207-581-2333. That is 207-581-BEEF. If you just tuned in, no worries. We are talking to Sophia Palangas, the senior who put on the quote-unquote Coronamencement this past Friday. She is I was been talking to her a little bit before the show. She seems like a really great person. Very excited. We're going to ask all the fun questions now. If you are new to our show, this is the Orono Classifieds. We talk to people who work on and around the University of Maine. We talk to people who work with members of the community, and just kind of how are we all connected? How are we all getting things done together, especially in these very trying times. It is Sunday, March 15th. It is currently 3:45. The songs that you just heard was Hallucinating by Elohim. Before that was a cover of The Seeker by Marie-Christine Desperate. Before that was Hell of a Girl by Grace Potter. And then the first song was Awkward by San Cisco. So to kind of get back into the show, do you want to introduce yourself again for everyone?
Hi everyone again, my name is Sophia Palangas. I'm the senior who planned Coronamencement by accident, and I'm studying communication sciences and disorders in the Honors College with minors in psychology, leadership studies, and interdisciplinary disability studies, and I'm a part of a variety of groups on campus that I'll save the time for later maybe.
Yeah, so we were talking earlier before the break about how Coronamencement came from. How that name is so funny. How the early goodbyes and graduation, how that came from you just wanting to do it with your friends, and it just really quickly blew up into this whole thing where, what was it, like 400 something people, was it 450 people were interested in going?
Yeah, it was a little bit over 450, I think, in the end. Ended up handing out 306 diplomas, which was pretty cool. I originally only asked for 100 to be printed, so Lisa Morin definitely helped out by running up to her office and printing multiple times for everyone to get one.
I know, those diplomas were, they're honestly, I didn't read it until I was home. And then when I saw, like, oh, it's signed by Bananas, that's really cute. Oh, it says good job. Oh, that's so adorable. And then the very fine print on the bottom was like, yeah, this is going to be hung up. This is being framed for me.
Yeah. Yeah, the goal with the diploma was to validate everyone's accomplishments. And even when I wrote it, it took me about 5 minutes to design the diploma. When I wrote those lines at the end, I didn't know how much they would mean to people. But it ends with, may you all find the closure that you all seek, or something along those lines. And I think that kind of just is what early graduation was really about, closure.
Yeah, that was one of the questions that I've written down is, like, how do you feel knowing that all of those people that were there, like, these people wouldn't have just shown up if they just was like, oh, let's just party, woohoo. But they definitely showed up because they wanted that closure. How does it feel for you knowing that you were able to give that to people, especially in, like, times like these?
It kind of doesn't feel real. Like, none of this feels real. It's amazing and overwhelming just to see, like, different Facebook posts of people in their caps and gowns, and their families are there, their families are commenting on their pictures and telling them how proud they are, and just...
Yeah, I saw a bunch of grandmas being like, congrats, class of 2020.
Yeah,
that was so cute.
It warms my heart. I've been taking screenshots of everything, and I think I'm going to make a scrapbook, so when I kind of get my head sorted out, I'll be able to truly appreciate what just happened, because I still haven't processed it, really. I've just been kind of distracting myself still.
I saw so many people crying at that. I am not above admitting that I cried my eyes out at it. But, like, not to be a big sap. But it definitely was... I saw someone with a cap. I saw a lot of people with a bunch of caps. They're like, you know, at least we're not on the Diamond Princess. Like, I saw fun ones like that. And then someone had the cap that said, don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. And then I was like, this is perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. That was the big thing for me, knowing, like, this probably is so much bigger than what you expected it to be. Like, seeing everyone, like, waiting online, and we're all writing down our little names to hand to you, and then that feeling of, like, the feeling of getting your name read out, like, 2 people clapping, high-fiving Bananas, elbow bumping Dean Dana, and then it was kind of funny because when I got off, I was standing in the front and seeing everyone grab their diploma and then having to maneuver it so they can get the pump of hand sanitizer. And then so you'd always see people with their arms together and their diploma between their arms and then their hands cupped, and they're coming off the stage and they're like, yay. I think, commencement would be nice, but I think that's going to be a memory that I'm always going to remember.
Yeah. There's just so many little moments like that. Like, I could hear my friends giggling in the background as I messed up so many people's names. There's just, like, there's bottles of hand sanitizer in people's graduation photos, and hearing that Dean Dana was asking for pumps and pumps of hand sanitizer during that whole thing. It just, those little moments, like, people dancing in the beginning, and then just, like, singing the Stein song, and then looking at the floor at all these names. Like, there's a time where I had to decide that I could not place each paper on my podium, that I had to just throw it on the ground.
That's what I noticed, too.
Yeah, like, it was just, there's so many, like, sweet little moments that have happened that it fills my heart with so much joy. It's hard
or I
to
like
say.
when people would give you their names and it's like none of your business.
Oh.
Or just John. I was expecting for someone to say like, like Hugh and then last name Janice and just like waiting for someone to say something like that.
I thought I was getting pranked a couple times. The none of your business, I had to stop and read it over and give it its full credit it deserved because that was amazing.
So you said that, so Dean Dan was coming and he was going through so many pumps of hand sanitizer.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, when I walked up, I didn't even know that we were supposed to like acknowledge him in any way. So when he just held his elbow out, I'm like, is he gonna elbow me? Is he gonna take me down? Yeah. And I was like, oh, we're elbowing. Okay. Mm-hmm. But what was it like getting the legend himself to show up to this?
It is one of the most amazing things I have ever witnessed and been a part of. Dean Dana is my idol. If anyone knows me, they know that I am obsessed with Dean Dana because he's just a wonderful man. And just seeing him there, like, doing those elbow pumps and just speaking to us and just feeling the love, like, when they chanted his name, I thought it was one of the most beautiful things ever.
I feel like he's such a, not like a controversial figure, but there's definitely a lot more people that love him.
Yeah.
But it's so weird seeing, like, random people being like, I don't like Dean Dana. Why not?
He's so lovable, and when you get to know him, like, you just love him more, and he's a legend. He's just a ray of sunlight to me.
I'm glad that he spoke. Like, I don't know literally anyone else who's in a leadership position at UMaine. I don't have any opinions on them, but I'm glad that, like, if you had to get one person, I'm glad that you got Dean Dana.
And he needed the event as much as we did. I was asked if, I had a lot of people, like, random people ask me if they could speak at graduation, and I was like, oh, I don't know. Like, I could have had a list of 30 people speak, and I didn't want to silence anybody, but I had to. Someone asked me, where's President Joan Friend Mundy? And I go, she's doing something really important right now. And she was making sure that the issue of, like, student homelessness was being discussed, and she was able to do a lot of great things during our Coronamencement that needed to be done. And it might have been, like, I don't want to say dangerous situation, but, like, I think she would have been hounded if she was there.
Yeah.
It's not really, like, anyone's fault. Like, this is to flatten the curve of Corona, but, it's tough in times like these to be in a leadership position, so, but Dean Dana there, he just made the event. So,
what are we, I don't want to be like, so what now? What are we going to do?
Yeah.
But definitely, like, I know for a fact what I'm going to do is, since I'm student teaching, I don't have anything on campus anyway, and I already live off campus. Yeah. So I'm still going to have that opportunity to just probably take my cat for a walk every weekend like I've been doing, and just, like, standing on the mall and just being like, huh. So, like, what are your plans after all of this?
So already the UMaine women are kind of stepping right back into it. Taylor Cray this morning reached out to Lisa Morin, and we're setting up a bunch of volunteers to help all the local kids in the area make sure that they do have childcare. So a bunch of students are gathering to make sure that they have tutors or just people to babysit. We've talked a little bit about picking up all the trash on campus. If you take a walk around, it is very dystopian-like because there's just garbage flowing everywhere because of the mass move out. And we're just going to clean up and take care of some kids next and try to keep some level of normalcy. I know we're supposed to social distance, but as Lauren Ryan said, like, sometimes human spirit is more important than being entirely wrapped up in the situation. Yeah.
I think, like, we're not gonna, there's a lot of people, especially, like, who live around here that now that all these students are gone and now that the schools are closing, their lives are, like, I feel like, not to minimize what students of UMaine feel like, but, like, yeah, we just have to go home and do classes online now. But that's not speaking for all the people who's, like, all their babysitters just disappeared.
Yeah.
All of their college students that would come in on the weekend and buy all of the drinks and all the pizza. Like, they're just definitely gone too. So knowing that there's still people that are hanging around and helping that out too is pretty.
Yeah, it's weird to think of that. It's very easy to get wrapped up in our personal lives, how it affects us, and then you think about, you know, our Black Bear community. Like, there's a lot of students that might be homeless from this or that are now food insecure, and then you think, well, we're just one campus.
Mm-hmm.
There's a ton of campuses in our country and around the world. Like, everyone feels the effects from this, and it's really like, what are you gonna do about it? Because I think planning this event's proven that, like, a small group of people can really do something about it, even if the situation seems super uncontrollable.
Yeah, so it's just nice knowing, like, like, at least from my perspective, that Coronamencement happened, and it's like, oh, like, whoever ran that must have been great. And now knowing that, like, oh, she's going to do more great things. Knowing that, like, I'm glad that someone like you ran it and not, like...
Thank you. Yeah.
I can imagine, like... I'm legitimately not saying anyone in specific. But I feel like there's definitely a lot of people that it could have just went so downhill so quickly. And knowing that, like, you had all these standards that you were trying to meet, and you were leading all these groups of people, like, that's pretty great.
Yeah.
Pretty great. Pretty.
Thank you. The community really prepared me. All the opportunities that I took advantage of throughout my time at UMaine just set me up for success, really.
Okay, so is there any more, like, last minute shout outs or social media plugs? We get I've had people, like, plug their LinkedIn. Like, you can say whatever you want in the next 2 minutes.
Wow.
It's all yours.
Okay, well, first of all, hi, Mom and Dad. Haven't seen them in a while. Sorry I'm not coming home to New Hampshire, but I still have a lot of business to take care of up here. I'd like to shout out the UMaine Women. So if you don't know what or who we are, we're a group of senior females, and well, now we're open to gender non-conforming students, actually. So we're a group of students on campus that are active leaders in the community, and we work with the alumni and put on different events for you guys, and work with the president's office a lot. And they are some of the most powerful women I have ever met, and I would just want to say thank you guys for supporting me and just being so inspirational. We throw this quote around a lot: empowered women empower women, and that's the epitome of UMaine Women. And of course, all my friends that, as I said in my speech, contributed to this chaos. Thank you. Thank you everyone who came. I want to make it clear that I never intended to gather so many people in one space, and I do acknowledge that it was a risk, given the CDC recommendation of not having a gathering of more than 250 people, but human spirit sometimes tops that, and mental health is extremely important, and this has been an incredible experience, and I'm just trying to ride the wave of all the love that the community has tossed at me. So get out there, get involved still. We're so lucky we have social media, so if you have to be quarantined, you are so lucky. What was it? Calculus was discovered was it Isaac Newton was in quarantine? What are you going to do when you're in quarantine?
I know there's a lot of, there's a bunch of new video games coming out this week. So I know all my friends were like, oh, these movies are being postponed. I'm like, but in today's times, we can all just play together.
Yeah.
And I think, like, I don't want to... A pandemic is never a good thing to have. But I feel like in modern society, in today's day and age, I feel like we're more equipped for it socially than ever before.
Just wash your hands and be kind to people, and don't get too overwhelmed, because this is something that I don't know if anyone will ever fully understand. No one knows what to do. We're all just out here trying to do our best. So don't buy too much toilet paper, and just keep calm.
Okay, so was that everything? You got it all out?
I think so.
Okay, so thank you, Sophie, for coming out. Again, if you just tuned in the last I don't know why, 3 minutes. You're listening to the Orno Classifieds, a talk show from WMEB 91.9 FM, Orno, Maine. It is currently 4:02 on March 15th. I do not think the next show is happening. When I walked in, it was pretty empty, so I think I'm the only one for today. So, once again, I'm Livy, the host of the OC. Remember, if you want to follow us for updates on future guests, and if you want to ask them questions, or even if you work in a Maine, or your friend works in Maine, and you just want to come on, please, I would love to have you. If you want to contact us, you can find us at Twitter at Orno Classified. That is Orno Classified with no S. We are also
Does the open window tempt you with a breeze? Will everyone you meet turns to cold shoulders, mobile ordering groceries? And some take drugs made at the factory, and some play believe, some play just to hide the car keys. Please won't you just let me be a part of this machine?